Hi, good morning, students. Hope you all are doing good. To Are you following the lessons? From your feedback that I have got, I understand that some of you are very interested in the topics, while other are not paying much attention to it. So these are your chapters. This is a new way of learning. Follow it, enjoy it, and if you have any problem following the classes, please message me. Today we are going to discuss a poem by Robert Frost. So you have studied a poem, Dust of Snow by Robert Frost, right? Did you enjoy the poem? Yeah, the poem was little different. It was so simple, but it has lot of ideas to convey, right? Lot of themes, lot of symbols, and lot of thoughts, right? But it is a simple poem. Here, the Fire and Ice is also a simple, short poem by Robert Frost which tells particularly about something. Let's see what the poem is about. Before that, let us revise something about Robert Frost. As we all know, he was an American poet. He was regarded for the realistic depictions of rural life. Yeah, you have definitely seen in the poem The Road Not Taken, and it can be seen in many of his poems like Beecher's, which is set in the rural life of New England and early 20th century. So he throughout his poems, most of his poems, he is examining the complex social and philosophical themes. For us, it may seem a simple poem with a single thought or single idea, but the poem is more around philosophical themes. Also, he was honored by for Pulitzer prizes and many awards, as we have learned that in the last chapter. So, shall we move to the poem? Okay. Fire and Ice. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. So it is a small poem in around 9 lines. Short poem, 9 line poem, very short, but it definitely means something. What is it? Some say the world will end in fire. So it is about the apocalypse, how the world will end. Some say the poet believes that some people say is the world is going to end in fire. Some say in ice. Here itself, in the beginning of the poem itself, he is bringing the contrasting ideas of fire and ice. Some say that the world is going to end in fire, and some people say that the world is going to end in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But for the poet who have this much experience in his life has believed that, or he is standing in people in who is telling in who is speaking in favor of fire, that he is also telling that it is likely to be end in fire. But if it had to perish twice, means if it rises again, the like phoenix, the bird phoenix. Yeah, if it has to perish twice, if it has to again, not only by fire, but if it had to perish again, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great. That means he says if the world has to perish again, ice is also great. So here we can see what are the images or symbols. We have seen the poem of Robert Frost earlier. He used a lot of symbols. Here itself we can get what fire and ice meant by. While fire he meant that of desire, and ice he meant that of hate. Got it? Normally, fire stands for the idea or stands for the desire, fire of desire inside the human being, which will lead to what hatred. Also, ice is here compared to hate, which also led to hatred among the people in the world. So here, according to the poet, the fire stands for desire, the greed, and the avarice or the lust inside human beings, which engulf the whole life of humans. That is, here the fire stands as a symbol of rapidly, like the desire or the lust inside human beings is such that it spread rapidly like fire and engulf your whole life. Likewise, also the eyes, it is also stands for hatred, coldness, and rigidity. That if someone who becomes sensitive, insensitive, and indifferent towards the feelings of others, that here the poet says that both fire and ice are growing with such a rapid speed that the world will soon perish either way in fire or ice. Did you get the meaning of the poem? That is, he put forward an age old question. There is questions in Bible also where we don't know how the world is going to end. Everyone believe that the world will be end one day. So the main question is how. So he says it either be the fire or by the ice. See, by fire and ice, he doesn't mean that of the symbol powers of nature. He mean more than that. He mean the fire and ice inside the people, inside the mind of the people, which led to hatred, enmity, and indifferences. You got it? So that is the theme he want to explain, he want to put forward by the poem Fire and Ice. He is not only discussing with a simple topic how the world end, how the people also going to put an end to the world by growing fire or enmity between themselves. You got the poem? So let's go more about it. So the poem is simply about apocalypse, that he expresses how the world will end. That some people believe that it will destroyed in fire and some believe that it will be ice. Initially, at first, he supports those who are in favor of fire, but as the poem progress, what happened? He remains undecided. He also not getting an answer to it. He says both ice and fire can destruct the world. Actually, the poet very artistically, see, with simple lines, with simple thought, he is underpins the deep philosophy that we, if we are letting our emotions rule us, and if we are not controlling it, then it will surely destroy everything around us. It will surely destroy the world around us. So hatred and power of emotions are the major themes in the poem. The poet discussed the descriptive features of human emotion, emotion of desire or lust. He is representing, he is symbolizing that by fire. Also hatred and coldness, and is a insensitiveness towards others is represented by ice. Did you get the meaning of the poem? Hope you understand the poem. Can we read the poem again? Some say the world will end in fire, and some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. So here, now we will go to. Can you find out the rhyming scheme of the poem? Okay, you find it out. Now we are going to the literary devices discussed in the used in the poem. So first one is assonance. As you have know what is assonance? Oh yeah, repetition of vowel sounds in the same line. Here in the line, I hold with those who favor fire, whose O sound is repeated. That is assonance. Alliteration, that is a repetition of consonant sounds. The sound f is repeated, favor, fire. Imagery, as you know, imagery is a how we perceive things with our five senses. Some say that is seeing, to say that of destruction. Here also it stands for imagery. Then symbols, as we know, Robert Frost is very eminent poet who used symbols in his poems. He symbolizes fire and ice as hatred and desire and hate. Then anaphora. Have you heard of anaphora? Anaphora is a repetition of a word or expression in the first part of a line. Here in the first two lines, some say the phrase is repeated. That is anaphora. Personification is giving human qualities to inanimate objects. Fire and ice is here capable of destruction. That is, he is personifying them. Next is enjambment. You know enjambment? Yes, that is a thought or a phrase is continuing into next line without any punctuations. Then a break. That is enjambment. So these are the major literary devices used in the poem. Go through it again and read the poem and go through it again. Hope you have understand the poem. So if you have understand the poem, try to fill up and try to write down the answers in your notebook and write the assignment. You have learned contrast in the last chapter also, right? While we are discussing this chapter 2, Nelson Mandela, The Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela, there we have discussed contrast used by Mandela, right? Here also, Robert Frost has used the contrast of fire and ice. So how it is enhancing the beauty of the poem? Try to write it and read the poem. We will discuss more about it tomorrow, next class also. Okay. Thank you.